Okay, bit of a Frostfire Frost commentary for Streets. Running just the standard Dust Chill build. It's 14. I do have a heroic weapon. I decided not to craft a staff because my guild killed Fractalus this week and they're gonna kill it next week. So hopefully I just get the one hand from there. And if you have Void Core, it's better than a staff anyway. But in single target at least, it's certainly worse than AoE. Anyway. Yep, just doing some tab target flurrying, keeping up the blizzard and the frozen orb. Ideally, I probably would have delayed that comps from slightly so I could actually shatter it instead of having to refresh my orb and blizzard afterwards. I am like kind of criminally underusing Ice Nova here, to be honest. I could use it here if I wanted, because all of these except for the main guy should be freezable. So yeah, still not terrible. I'm not really in love with the, and you want to run Iceless here just because the first boss allowing you to blink out of his, imprisons is just way too strong. Definitely feels a little bit bad once you get to the later parts of the dungeon. Aside from, the Menagerie boss, you can blink out of chains, which I end up doing here. Accidentally blink. You can see my two frozen orbs off on the side, just not hitting anything. Sad. But hopefully this is the last expansion that's a concern. Yeah, they just reduce the duration or something, or make them follow the enemies, and we'll be very happy in midnight. Quick. I used this because I knew he was going to chain. Yeah, ideally, I would be like tap targeting some flurries here. I just don't have a tap target flurry macro set up, so I've just been a little bit lazy about that. It's like a little bit worse, but I mean, it's definitely the most annoying thing to do as Frostfire. So I'm running Dragon's Breath as well for fun, and also because it has its reduced cooldown for Frostfire, which is pretty sick. I did send this Comet Storm. Probably shouldn't have. I mean, it looks like the mobs are probably gonna die as soon as the Cone of Cold comes back up. Looks like it probably have snuck it out, but it's alright. Not pressed about it. I would not. That seems not necessary. Yep. Yeah, two icicles, frostbolt into flurry. We're good. Alright, well they wipe. So. Feel free to just like meld it if you want to. Probably should have shifting powered here, because now, too late on my Comet Storm. And that's kind of why the frontal there is why you want to be a little bit closer to the boss. I've been like pretty far from him. It means I'm forced to blink anytime it goes on me. Yeah, see my blinks on CD. Not great. You definitely don't want that. But um, if you're close to the boss, then you can probably just get out of it with nice flows. Didn't really learn my lesson though, because here I am, this far away still, and I have to blink again. And I mean, one wasted GCD is relatively significant. It's like half a mil damage or something. So definitely not something to scoff at. That's why the rule of thumb usually, like if you want to play ice flows and raid, is if you ever have to blink, it's not worth it. But overcap my icicles just so I can have Winter's Chill before the Glacial Spike. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing revolutionary about this gameplay, right? It's just Frostfire.
Are you still silenced?
and how it should play this tier.
Well,
Just send this. I don't really care about frozen orb TDR. Just doesn't matter.
uh,
Technically, you want to flurry after a instant cast Frostfire Bolt, so that's kind of why I
yeah,
did
there
that.
might be something. Yeah, I'm speaking on my ass. There might be something that makes Lich Form
But you can
make
also just
sense,
naked
but
flurry
that's
anytime
just makes
over
sense considering how
3
many
icicles,
items you
right?
have.
So
Oh.
don't think this buff really is worth it. I wish it was a damage buff. I mean, we're definitely at the
Yeah,
point
that's what
where
I've been too. So
you have so much haste that you're just overcapping. Or like, look at this. Like my Glacier Spike's like a 1 second cast basically. It's crazy.
so there's one Zach.
In Lust, it just gets even wilder. But this is Cleave, so it's solid to send, Comet Storm on its own. If you can, right, you want to double flurry either Glacier Spike like I did right there, or Frostbolt Flurry and then Glacier Spike Flurry the other target, or you do that to Comet Storm, where you would tap target Flurry the other guy. But I don't know, CDs kind of looks like the Death Knight sent CDs, so I'm honestly surprised I'm not doing a little bit more damage here, but I mean that guy doing 10 mil on 2 targets is a little strong, I would say. So
yeah, normally when I do my YouTube thing, I select the no profanity thing for that.
you can see our Mythic Prog in the left. We had Soul Hunters at 30% after 6 pulls. It's now dead. So now we're on Nexus King. But
Are we just doing
that's any guild that kind of raids is gonna be on Nexus King in like a week. So
sure.
mega nerfed bosses. A little bit sad to be honest. We'll see what they do to Dimensius and whatnot. But I don't know why I didn't count Storm. I guess I'm waiting for the 3 target here to do my Cone of Cold. Probably could have waited for the Prisoner, but Prisoner's like not that crazy high value for Frostfire. To be honest, it's kind of annoying to wait for everything. I pop Ice Cold here because I just got yanked through the beam. Or I guess I popped Gene Viz actually. So there would have probably been good to like tap target a Flurry onto one of these other mobs when I Comet Stormed. Because definitely hit them. So, yeah. But yeah, I did just post a Frostfire Fire video. And I think that is definitely my favorite spec for Mythic Plus right now. It's very fun. And Frostfire feels a lot more complete on fire than it does on Frost, mainly because there's no issue with them using like 2 Phoenix Flames in a row, and for us there is. So for using 2 flurries in a row. Just gotta make sure the RP is procced. Stand against that door. It starts the boss that's spawning. So
yeah, we're good.
Was this the best Icy Veins in the world? No, not really.
Yeah.
In fact, using this next pack probably would have been better because we pull this, which is pretty, large pull. So for streets at least. I somehow actually hit all of the mobs in here with Witch Chill, so I'm kind of surprised by that. But one of the benefits of Dragon's Breath is I can kind of just root willy-nilly and still be able to interrupt the Peacekeepers. So you gotta be a little careful though on your
There's Dragon's Breath for no reason, I guess.
on this pull just because the Peacekeeper charge, especially if they end up getting enraged, will just destroy you. So
It's so delayed. Yeah.
kind of unfortunate I'm missing, or like I'm not getting the opportunity to use a couple of my Iconic Golds. Yeah, if the mobs are that low, I mean, I had Ice Nova, but if they were that low and I didn't, I probably would have Frost Nova. Even though you shouldn't really, but I mean, if there's not really gonna be like another GCD, you don't have like Fingers of Frost or anything, and like double shattering your Glacial Spike and your Pyroblast is pretty solid to do still.
Probably save Mailroom unless you want to do like Oasis next. That could work too.
I delay will have flurried after that instant cast Frostfire Bolt. One of the reasons why I hope next expansion they make the empowered Frostfire Bolts not instant cast. Here, just shifting power to be able to do my kind of cold combo. But yeah, because they did that to Heat Shimmer for fire, where it used to give you an instant cast Scorch that did damage as if target was below 30%. And then they changed it to actually just do the same thing but require a cast. For Scorch, it wasn't even a nerf because Scorch has a cast time of the GCD, but yeah, it made it a lot more fluid. And so for both fire and frost, it's really annoying to have the instant Frostfire Bolt because, you know, for frost you can't do your flurry combo, and for fire you can't intercombust if you like have procs right before it because you just can't precast a Frostfire Bolt, and you don't want to press Scorch as Frostfire usually. So get another kind of cold reset, which is pretty sick. I'm honestly not keeping as good of an eye on my excess fire when I'm using Comet Storm as I should be. So
Can you give it to me when you're done?
Crossfire just has such good visuals though, so I don't know why I didn't Icy Veins. Oh, I was trying to save it for like stealing the damage buff, but I didn't get it. In fact, I just don't get this entire fight, which is a little silly because like the DK has it, he's doing 4 million DPS. But all right, so here's the chains, and I can blink them. So yeah, blink very good in this dungeon. The only downside is that it makes, you know, dealing with the Shuris a little bit more annoying on the last boss, pretty much.
You probably need to try making sure that you weren't the one getting that.
Ice Flows could use a little bit of a buff, because now you can't like chain cast into 5 spells anymore. They've like bug fixed it, quote unquote, in a narrow bar, and that really hurts it. But so it's very disappointing.
So for like melee, it's kind of shit. You, oops.
I don't know why I altered and Void Elf Racial. That was a little silly, to be honest. But yeah, so we basically just passed the damage buff between the tank and our melee, except for right now the Shadow Priest has it. But yeah, not the move.
Yeah, like he
certainly.
twice and he still did that much damage.
Yeah, this is another dangerous pull. Honestly, like 4 Peacekeepers and 2 Sparkcasters and a May boss is like a little spooky, but so here I Ice Lance, so I'm not at 2 excess fire. I need to do it again, and then I can Comet Storm. But yeah, just getting a little destroyed. It's honestly very lucky that I did not die there. Our healer's actually just owning a little bit. I should use these empowered Frostfire Bolts earlier. So swear these things just are so offset in their shields. It's really annoying. Then we get to do another kind of cold combo, which is pretty big. Though this time I think I did overcap excess fire, so. I didn't ice over there just because. Oh, does it like deflect spells or something? Look kind of weird. But because my flurry looked like it went on a different target there than who I had focused.
Yeah.
And now for the big 20 million pull. Can you go start the RP? Which I didn't need to walk this far in, I don't think. In Shadowlands, yeah, like
Walked around there.
you still have to buy the thing from him. It's just after that section of the RP. So yeah, we got this. Went ahead and went to 15 stacks of Death Chill just because it would have let my orb reset. So that was the purpose of that.
Yeah. Probably fine.
Yeah, solid damage. I decided to just Frost Nova because the mobs were, having so low health. I didn't want to use kind of cold when we're gonna be doing an actual pack in a second. But we end up pulling this mini boss first. I used the Comet first after the Cone just because I'm repositioning and I didn't want to Frozen Orb when I was that close. Here we tap target Flurry, right? 2 target. Would have been better Ice Nova actually because that would have actually shattered the Power Blast on the second target. And I should have Ice Nova there because I didn't have anything to shatter. My Glitchy Spike. Even though the main guy is immune to freezes, the strong arm isn't. So
I can also do it. Oh.
and there I did the Comet first just because the other mobs are very low health.
We shoot the Oasis boss. Yeah. Yep. I don't think so. I have a weak word for it. He's probably using himself.
Ideally on this boss you only refresh. Here I don't have Icy Veins, which is actually a good thing because the boss is the next guy that spawns. Yeah, to be honest, didn't realize till now that the background sound of the video was also playing, but it's been 20 minutes, so I'm not re-recording that. um, anyway, it's pretty nice that this only has one stage now. You just go straight into boss, so you can kind of just hold your CDs, and Frost still does a decent amount of damage on the first set, just using like their kind of gold combo and everything. So ideally, every time the boss does one of his abilities here, like this, he's gonna also put a refresh thing down, and so you want to use that to like dash out, like I just did there. Unfortunately, he has like a few abilities that like aren't as easy to do, but like this one, for instance, he'll do um see, there's something to dash through there. And so this is the easiest one because there's no danger to dashing here, right? He's not gonna just randomly hit you with a frontal like crowd control or kill you if you're in the suppression. So there's like room for me to not overcap bicycles some here. That was a terrible flurry because it's into the crowd control, which was unfortunate. But overcapping icicles is like not that big important. Here I really need that refresh because I only had 4 seconds. So it's fine to flurry after your comps room. Use it as a precast like we did in a last patch. I like doing that. So that's why I just did it there. That's like damage neutral. Here I flurried instead of doing GS into flurry, which technically also kind of like damage neutral. But the reason I did it there was because I was so close to the boss that my flurry would not have shattered the glacial spike it was precast. This is a pretty bad icy veins though, because I have 20 seconds left when the boss dies, and we're going to mailroom to lust it. So, ideally I would have saved it for mailroom. So we're gonna lust. I have no CDs. As Frostfire, it's a little bit better than if I was playing like Spellslinger, just because Frostfire does more out of cooldown damage. Probably shouldn't have canceled that altar, but I didn't know if it was gonna stay long enough for me to actually stand in the soak the whole time. Okay, with Blink, it's a little bit more awkward to do these things, but what I'm gonna do is Void Elf Racial, and it would have been better if it picked it up sooner. First Void Elf Racial, use the Void Elf Racial port, and then do that. But that was not very smooth. My wire still dropped and stuff. So that's right though. Honestly, kind of surprised I'm not potioning at all. Yeah, you can see that alters up every single time you do the fan mail. And then you just want to use a big CD on this usually. And it won't kill me on a 14, but if you're doing like a 15 or something, then it would definitely get spicy. This wasn't, this was like an okay route. I mean, you just want maybe a little bit more planning for it to be, good. I think we finished with like 5 minutes left or something, so still got a floor here if there's instant frostfire bolts. Altering every fan mail. I do have, yeah, I think that G-Invis was unnecessary because I do have Mirror's Image out, So I lived that with like 70% HP. Very overkill. In general, if this was like a different version of the fight, I definitely would not have done that, right? You usually, I mean, mirror image is like your one of your weakest defensives. Normally you would like pair like barrier and altar, or like mirror image and altar, or mirror image and barrier, and then icy vein or ice cold and G invis are good enough on their own. But yeah. Okay, so he pulls away here, and then we just go up. I can also pull away with my Void Elf Racial. I just grab them and then put my port right on the teleport, and then run over here, G invis, and then Spatial Rift. It's much harder to do that without Void Elf if you're playing just normal Blink. Shimmer is really the only way. And this boss kind of just doesn't matter, really. I was able to cast Glacial Spike there with like 3 icicles, because icicles have individual timers. So as long as I start the Glacial Spike cast at 5, even if I lose icicles, I'm still able to get it off. So that's pretty cool. I imagine there's going to be someone like, oh my god, how did you cast Glacial Spike at 3 icicles? But really, I can start at 5, and then 2 of them just immediately disappeared. So, but that doesn't matter if that happens. Yeah, so the one downside of playing Ice Flow this dungeon pretty much is not being able to blink the Shuri line, because that's DPS less. Really, I didn't need a Frostfire Bolt into that Winter's Chill after the Comet Storm. If you do, Comet Storm one Winter's Chill, it can be good to do, Frostfire Bolt if you don't have Glacier Spike or like Shifting Power. But that was an instant cast one, so it wasn't going to do anything anyway. Would remove it around the same time as Ice Lance. So yeah, so if he crosses the divide when he's casting that ability, the bleed, he just like doesn't put it on anyone. It's a little silly. Yeah, you can void off racial through these, which is nice. But that has a 3-minute cooldown, so I think I believe Blink used to go over them in Shadowlands, but at the very least you could like surely soul shape over them probably. So being able to void off it is basically like being able to soul shape it. It was essentially Naked Flurry at 3, so that worked totally fine with the Comet Storm as a precast. But you can always just save them for Winter's Chill, and it is literally no different from what I'm doing damage wise. Anyway, that was the 14 streets. Um, Here's the overall. Pretty solid. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions.